I've been still thinking about the NFC Championship loss because that
Okay.
NFC Championship loss hurt. Obviously, another 10-point lead blown. Like I was sitting watching the game in the third quarter. Like, there's no way, right? Like, there's no way Kyle can let this happen again. 17-7. There's no way Kyle allows it to happen. But then we end up losing the game, obviously. Now, going back and watching that game, now obviously a lot of people put the blame on Tart for dropping the interception. Now, obviously, if Tart made that catch, it'd have helped us a lot because we could have drained clock. But at the same time, nothing would guarantee that the Niners would go down there and score, or at least put some points up on the board, whether that might be a field goal, whether that might be a touchdown. But obviously, that Tart interception, if he made that, would help. But there were so many other like situations and plays in the games that you could look at where we couldn't capitalize. Like if you look at in that game, there was 2 or 3 drives where we were at the Rams' 50-yard line and we couldn't get a field goal. All 3 of those drives. There was 3 drives I remember specifically that were at the Rams' 50-yard line. We couldn't even get 10 or 15 more yards to get into at least field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
At least field goal range, not a touchdown. At least field goal range. Like 10, 15 yards, that's all you need, Kyle. And you couldn't do that much. You couldn't, like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And even when you look at the fourth quarter, Deebo Samuel, like, he got no touches. You relied on Deebo Samuel the whole season. You relied on him so freaking much. So freaking much. Deebo, you could see Deebo at least, 5 or 6 times in the backfield. Deebo's involved so much every freaking game. But when it matters the most, when it matters the most,
you're there. He's the main reason you made it.
He's the main reason you're there. And NFC Championship game, you don't use him in the fourth quarter. That doesn't make sense to me. You use Deebo all freaking year, but when you need him and when you have to use him, you don't.
And what was his response? Crying. I mean, it's not like he was like, Coach, I'm a little tired. Can you give the ball to Jawan Jennings? He's like, Coach, can you let me take us to the Super Bowl? And Kyle's like, nah, man, we got to throw this pass to Jermichael Hasty.
Yeah,
sorry.
And in those type of situations, it's like Kyle relies on Jimmy to do stuff. And I'm like, dude, even if you look back on 2019 and so many other games, right? Like, I remember a couple of weeks ago, I think like the day after the NFC Championship game, you and Vish were talking about, is Kyle Shanahan a choker? Right? And I think you guys were talking about, is Kyle Shanahan a choker? And Vish said no, which I disagree with. Because if you look at even his days in Atlanta, right? That Super Bowl, a lot of people bring up 21-3, 28-3. Kyle Shanahan and that Falcons offense only put up 7 points the whole second half. 7 points. 7 points the whole freaking second half.
And 21 points the whole game. 7 of those, 7 points under 28 was a pick 6. So it was not a great offensive performance.
It wasn't a good offensive performance, especially in the second half. That whole offense couldn't do nothing. And a lot of people say, okay, Kyle this year and, on his time with the Niners, people say, oh, his quarterback is Jimmy Garoppolo. He had Matt Ryan, who was the MVP that year.
And he had a 25-point lead. If you can't win with a 25-point lead, I don't understand. You might just not be able to do it. You might not ever win the big one. That's my thing with Kyle. It seems like he's got the roster. He's got the quarterback now. I like Trey Lance. He's the problem. He can take you right to the end and then he'll blow it. And he's done it 3 times now.
Obviously, like I said, that Falcons game, right? Like you had Matt Ryan, who's the MVP that year, and they couldn't do nothing on offense. Even if you look at the Super Bowl, right? And that Super Bowl, it's hard because that Super Bowl we should have won. You look at that Super Bowl. The Niners got an interception with 11:49 left on the clock. The Niners go on offense. They give the Chiefs the ball, and they only had like a 2-minute drive. They couldn't do nothing, and they give the Chiefs the ball back with 9 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Then the Chiefs go and they have this drive, and they leave 6 minutes on the clock, 20-17. Mm-hmm. The Niners gave them the ball back with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. Mm-hmm. They had 1 minute. They only used 1 minute of the whole entire clock, and it was all Jimmy throw the ball, Jimmy throw the ball, Jimmy throw the ball, Jimmy throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, why? You in the NFC Championship game that year, you ran the football, and Jimmy only had to throw the ball 7 freaking times.
That's right.
And then in the Super Bowl, for you to hold up a Lombardi trophy, possibly hold up a Lombardi trophy with 6 minutes left, you decide to throw a Jimmy Garoppolo a whole freaking drive?
Pass, punt. What?
Yeah, like that makes no sense. Especially when you have Mahomes on the other side, then Mahomes did what he did, right?
But he did the same thing in this too. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you look at this game, right, like there's so many drives that we had where we should have capitalized. And not even a touchdown. We're not asking you to put, obviously touchdown would be great, but even just a field goal. And the offense couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And it makes no, especially when we
Here's the thing, real quick, Amin. I want to say something. It's like Niner fans pretty much agree that Jimmy Garoppolo can't win the big one, right? Not good in the playoffs, crumbles in the big moments, basically a choker. Good regular season quarterback, but not equipped for the big moment. What about Kyle? Right?
And people say Kyle overthinks, right? People say Kyle overthinks in big situations and big moments. I don't even think it's overthinking. I just think it's plain stupidity. Some of the things, like even if you look at the NFC Championship game, like you use Debo all year, dude. All year you use Debo.
Yeah, it's like maybe it's not
and then
overthinking.
you don't use him in the biggest
complete lack of thought. Maybe it's like panic and your brain just goes blank and you stop thinking clearly. It's not overthinking. It's not thinking.
Yeah, it's basically not thinking. How is it overthinking? Like it's not overthinking.
It's not overthinking. It's like I forgot to get the ball. Oh my god, Debo had one touch in the fourth quarter. Oh my god,
one touch in the fourth quarter. The same guy.
Why didn't you tell me that?
The same guy that used Debo Samuel on a 3rd and 7 in the NFC and the divisional round decides to only give Debo Samuel one touch in the 4th quarter of an NFC Championship game.
I'm sure the Rams were real happy about that. I'm sure that really pleased them.
Yep. Well, now they're in the Super Bowl, so.
Well, I mean, I got to take some more calls, but don't be a stranger, man. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I got to start calling anymore. Hey, can I shout out my channel real quick?
Please do.
Hey, if you check out Amin the Dream, that's my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers. I'm like,
baby. Watch that.
So,
that's right.
If you haven't already subbed to the channel, please go do so.
All right, man. Have a good one. See you soon.
You too, man. Peace.